You ever applied for a job and just prepped a lot, done everything you possibly could in order to finally get the job of your dreams? You gave the interview of your life, and then you didn't get it. It's crazy, right? My name is Matt with Elevating Yourself, and I have been there. I have had interviews I've prepped for that I thought I just absolutely killed, and I didn't get the job. And I thought to myself, you know what? Nope, not doing that anymore. It's just not worth it. And I think a lot of people have felt like that before. And it's a natural fear of rejection. We don't like to be rejected. We want to be there. And so today's video, we're going to be talking a lot about how to get past this and then what we can do going forward to make sure that we use those tools in order to make us successful. First, let's just talk about the problem. Look, fear of rejection is universal. In fact, it's biological. We are evolutionarily programmed to want to conform to groups of people. And in today's society, with social media, everything like that out there, it's natural to start to feel like, you know what, I don't want to get rejected. In fact, I don't want to put myself out there because I potentially could get rejected. I'll just sit here in my little bubble and be protected for the rest of my life. But there is a high toll that comes with this fear of rejection that could lead to anxiety. It could lead to low confidence. It could even lead to missed opportunities. I mean, think about it. If you never put yourself out there, how could you potentially know what you could rise to? It's not practical to think that you're going to go the rest of your life without feeling some sort of rejection. You're going to face it. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And you can't sit there and think to yourself, I'm just going to avoid it altogether, and that's just going to be me. It will happen at some point. Regardless of how big or small that rejection is, you will face it. Now let's reframe things just a little bit. Now rejection, it isn't personal. Well, I mean, maybe it was a little bit personal back in the 6th grade when I asked out Becky and she just rejected me. That's a little bit personal. We'll get into that. The personal stuff, not Becky. In most instances, rejection is feedback. It's giving you an opportunity to reframe things a little bit, rethink about the things that you did, maybe look at your communication style, look at how you might have done things a little bit differently. And again, that's the thing, is that if you got rejected for some reason, and we're talking like job interviews or proposals, things of that nature, maybe it was just a way that you came across. There are different ways that you can potentially rephrase things that can mean so much more to the people around you. And that's what you got to be thinking about. It's the same thing as content creation. My goal for my channel is to be able to help people around me. I want people to be the very best possible version of themselves they can. Just because people aren't rushing in droves to my channel right now shouldn't discourage me. I am refining processes along the way. And if I look at this situation as rejection, then I might not take the next steps. And that's the scary thing, is that if you just stopped because you weren't good at something or because of your first rejection, you would never take that initial leap to be able to get better at something. And that's even scarier. Now let's talk about the personal piece. Yes, rejection can be a little bit personal, especially when you're talking about relationships. I can't tell you how scared I was when I was about to ask out my wife. She is so beautiful, and I had no idea what was going to happen. And I was like, there's no way this gorgeous woman is going to say yes to me. But you know what? If I had thought that way and I had led with it, then I would not have a beautiful wife of 14 years and I would not have 3 beautiful boys. That's the simple fact of it. And that's the things that you have to be thinking about. Yes, the risk could potentially be high, but the rewards could be even higher. You just never know. And sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith with it. And it's just like the famous quote from Michael Scott, who quoted Wayne Gretzky, who quoted Michael Jordan. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's something I've always lived by. And I think it's a great quote to think about when you're thinking about rejection, because you have to just shoot. You have to get up to that line and you have to just take your shot no matter what happens. You learn and you grow. Finally, let's talk about some of the actions that you can take in order to push through some of this fear of rejection. The first thing is just taking small, deliberate steps when it comes to rejection. Look for areas of your life that you could potentially get rejected in so you can start to feel a little bit more comfortable. One way is the next time you're going out to get coffee, just before you're about to pay, ask the person if you can have it for free. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. I've actually done this several times. It's a great learning experience. And not only that, but I've engaged in some great conversation with the people across the counter. They're like, is there a reason why you wanted it for free? And I was like, no, just thought I would ask. What's the worst that can happen? And they've laughed about it. So it's a great conversation piece. By the way, I've actually received 2 free coffees from this. So You never know. Again, that's the thing, is you never know what's going to happen. Next, let's just look at it from a numbers game. Look at it from an attempts and a successes column. Think about what are the things that you learn from it, what are the things that you can do differently the next time you go through it, and see what happens. I do this with my content creation all the time. The things that I've thought about is, what can I do in my videos differently than last time? And it might be big differences and it might be subtle differences. You never know. And that's the things that you have to think about, is small tweaks that you do could make huge impacts in the things that happen in the future. Don't think about the fear that resides with what happens if I get rejected. Think about, what is it that I can potentially learn the next time so I can do better and I know I'll succeed. Finally, try to depersonalize rejection in the right situations. And this is a hard one because it is hard to not take important things personal. Several years ago, I was applying for a new job. I wanted a new start. I wanted to try something different. And I thought it was going to be the easiest thing that I ever did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cast my line out there and it's just going to be offer after offer after offer. Now, this was several years ago where the market was really good. And so I thought it was going to be just the easiest thing ever. You know what? 3 rejections later, and I was scared. I thought, maybe I was overthinking things a little bit too much. Maybe I thought too highly of myself. I started to doubt myself a lot more because I'm like, there's no way that I'm not good enough to get some of these jobs, yet I was getting rejected for some reason. And then I read The Magic of Thinking Big, and it changed my life. It was such a great book, and I'll link it in the description below. It helped me understand the power of positive thinking, the power of thinking big. And you know what? The very next interview, I got the job. And so that's the thing you have to be thinking about, is that sometimes it's all in your mind. And it's hard sometimes when you're getting a little bit of a beat down to get back up again. But just like Steve Rogers, I can do this all day. Thanks for watching today. You're going to get rejected at some point. It's only natural. It's going to happen. We all face that. So don't think about it. In fact, I want you to go out there and I want you to welcome it. I want you to look rejection in the eyes and I want you to say, bring it on, bitch, because you know what? I got this. And you know what? If you do reject me, I'm just going to come back bigger and I'm going to come back stronger. It can happen. Don't think about the rejection. Think about the successes that are going to come from the choices that you make and the chances that you try. Please remember to check out some of the videos I've got posted. I'll link them up above here. Remember, elevating yourself to the next level, it starts with a single step. Take your step today. See you next time.